So if I come back to my text context here. So we talked about libraries. Next, I want to transition into projects. So projects provide two capabilities. The first capability is the ability to have a collaboration space. So a lot of medical device manufacturers work with suppliers, obviously, and a lot of contract manufacturers. So projects allow you to have this collaboration space where you can invite outside vendors or suppliers or contract manufacturing people into an actual project. And certain folders can be set up with information or data that then they can collaborate on. So for example, the first example here, I have a system design and collaboration project. And some of the specific information that I see under this particular project is some high-level details. You can have a specific folder structure set up for each project and logically store information related to that project. And we also have the concept of teams. So for this particular collaboration project, I have a number of different roles, and I have a number of different people that are fulfilling those roles. So this is a fairly simple team for this project. So I got a representative from engineering, manufacturing, Peter's the the project manager here, and Simon is representing the role of the supplier. So as the role as a supplier, I can take that particular role and lock down certain information or share information that he has access to in support of this particular design collaboration project. And the big part of the projects that we see is also the plan. So not only are we collaborating, but you can also set up a schedule or a plan that essentially is a work breakdown structure or a phased gate process, if you will. So it's set up with a number of different milestones and activities. So for this particular somewhat simple project, we have the flow where the supplier needs to sign a non-disclosure agreement, then it goes through some specification review, and then it goes through this preliminary and final design process. And we can see some detail on this plan as well, that we're tracking the actual work as it goes through the particular flow of the plan or the schedule. And we can also have the ability to add deliverables to each of the different milestones. So for example, the first milestone where the supplier needs to sign the contract. So it could be a document that needs to be signed, and that document is stored within the system. So that document then becomes a deliverable for this particular milestone. And we can actually see when each of these particular activities and milestones, when they start, when they finish, the actual work that's being tracked against them, and any particular deadline that may be set. So we can see anything that's out of date or behind schedule, and actually turns red here, showing that it's out of date for that particular time frame that's been set. So another example quickly here for a project may be if you want to run internal audit. So in a similar fashion, there's going to be a team associated to it. There's also going to be some folders that are set up to support the information in support of the audit. And again, it's going to be a plan or a schedule set up on what needs to be done in support of this internal audit. So we can see some of these phase gates here and milestones. So if you look at this one, we'll get into this in a little more detail too when we get to the products. But on this particular plan, we can see the different phases are actually aligned to the FDA 21 Part 820. So we can see concept ideation all the way down through our design inputs, down through our design outputs. And again, deliverables can be set up at each of those milestones as we go through. So when you talk about the FDA with phase gate approach, so they're looking for repeatable, predictable processes through the product development process. Okay, so that's project. Finally, what I'd like to do is come into products. Now, products are specific containers for information where you're managing information relative and pertaining to each specific product. So here I can have a handful of different products that I'm managing within the system. And I can expand these in a similar fashion I've done with libraries and projects. I can see some of the more details associated with the particular product if I want to come into a details page. Here I can see some high-level information about some attribute and metadata associated with it, the owner, when it was created, etc. I can also see some end items or actual SKUs that could be derived off of this one particular product. So this is my new NWR renal system. It's just a kidney dialysis machine. And this also some high-level visualization here. So as we work our way through Windchill here, whenever we have the opportunity to provide some visual feedback, we have this pervasive visualization that shows the user a representation with this viewable on this details page for the product. Also, products are going to be a little more, provide more detail than say maybe a project or a library. So if I want to come in, for example, and look at the team on this, so there's a lot more comprehensive roles and people that are fulfilling those roles. So here in this particular one, I have a number of different product managers. I have engineering change review boards, engineering change administrators. So any in support of the engineering change process, I have a number of people or roles that support that process, and they're all outlined on this team, as we can see here. I also have, here's my training coordinator and a training administrator associated with this product as well. And I'll just go into folders here. So this is pretty similar to what we've seen earlier. So high-level folder structure with subfolders, and again, much more comprehensive because I'm tracking a lot more information associated with this product than I showed you on one of those earlier, simpler projects or libraries. So everything from design information, documentation, quality, preventative maintenance information, maybe some requirements and training. For example, some of the information that's being tracked against this product. Now, I also want to mention too is in a similar fashion to projects, we can have plans or schedules against specific products. So in this particular case, it looks very similar to the plan that I was looking at in that internal audit project. And because this is a medical device, we're tracking this in compliance with FDA design control. So you can see the stage gate process, phase 1 through phase 6. So from concept all the way to post-market surveillance. And this one is just a fairly high level, but again, it outlines the different phases that this product needs to go through in its development cycle that's consistent with design controls as we go through these different stage gates in support of the process for this product.